Welcome back to Sailing NV! For the most they follow our channel, they know that we try very hard to keep on life our engine. But now it's time to give up.
Yeah, we've decided finally we're going to stop rebuilding this 30-year-old engine and look for something new. And we have something exciting in the pipeline, but it's coming from Europe, which means we've got a couple of things to investigate. First is the logistics of getting it here. The two options are to send it by air freight, which would be a lot quicker but also a lot more expensive, or sea freight, which is cheaper but will take a lot longer, and there's also the chance for delays. So we're just looking into those options at the moment. And the other thing we have to do is to find somewhere to haul out again. The engine that we're replacing was only 39 horsepower. We were probably underpowered, but that's because it was a race boat, so the engine wasn't particularly a valued piece of equipment.
From the beginning we know this engine is not one cruiser engine, be the old racing engine. I mean, one engine only 38 horsepower, 38 horsepower for 65, 66 foot boat, also if very light, is never enough for cruiser.
With this new engine, we're looking for something bigger, and therefore we're going to need also a new sail drive, which means we have to haul out again, unfortunately. This new engine is going to be bigger, so we're going to have to change the engine room, which is going to be a big job for you. You have to
different color.
What, the engine room or the engine?
The engine could have a different color.
Pink.
No, and we have to modify the engine room, and the whole seating of the engine have to be changed. Quindi have to grinding and cut out the old fiberglass cradle for the old engine, and remaking the housing for the new cell drive, and glue and prepare for the new engine. Plus change the position of the stairs and take one little piece space of the saloon and my nice free floor. That can be amazing for MV. Is a big upgrade.
Yeah.
It's a big upgrade. Also because the new engine we project to have with the 2 alternator.
Yeah, it's going to make a big difference to our lives. So the obvious choice is to go back to Kudat, which is about 100 miles sort of northeast. We know we can haul out there because we hauled out there before, like back in November, or was it December? But as those of you that follow our channel will know, there were quite a few hurdles with that yard. One is the communication issues, as the owner doesn't speak English. So we actually, to get confirmation that they will even haul us again and they have space for us, we have to go there. So we're going back there tomorrow by car to check. And the second is that they don't have props, or at least not ones high enough for us. So we had to dig a pit last time. So we have to see if they're willing to do that again. If we don't manage there, the other option is to go up to Langkawi, which would mean something like 1,200 miles also through the Malacca Strait, which is a huge shipping lane with lots of potential objects in the water, fishing nets, buoys.
No wind.
Yeah, no wind, yeah.
And one not reliable engine.
Yeah.
With a welding push rod.
Yeah. So at the moment we are using our engine to move a little bit and for power. And we came down from Kudat, obviously sailing and using the engine or the dinghy with the outboard to maneuver us if there was no wind and to anchor. So we are hopeful we can do the same to get back to Kudat, but whether we would trust this method to go all the way to Langkawi is a different question. What do you think, Tal? Langkawi or Kudat? Part of our issue with being on the hard stand is we don't have cradles to sit the boat, do we? And you've got an idea for making them.
If you already saw our channel from long time, you know we already built in Fiji 2 perfect cradle for sit the boat, and the boat stay sit for 1 year approximately in the cradle built from us. But that kind of cradle be built just for sitting in that yard. The dream be to shipping with us with a container, but in the end we understood that it's not possible. At the moment I have one project I have already talking, I think in the answer question video, how can build 2 cradle. In reality is 3 cradle because it's one for the bow and 2 pieces for the stern, and The one for the bow can be storage inside to the stern of the boat, and the two one for the stern, that is two half cradle, they can be nice integrate in the cockpit like a step for steering when the boat is heeled over. And like the racing boat modern they have some wedge, some support. You can adjust the inclination for have always one flat support where sit. My idea, these two half pipe, quarter pipe, that they make in the two half cradle to the stern, they can be block on the floor of the cockpit on the back to the two steering wheel. And like this, when the boat is heeled over, when the boat is upwind,
when the boat is at an angle,
when the boat heeling, you can steering and you have one support stable where you can stay in any kind of position. Can be also very nice to have one form like a quarter pipe. When the boat is an angle, you can continue to steering and you can step on the top to this quarter pipe, that they are the real cradle for the stern, for the bulkhead of the stern. This project is very interesting also because we can laminate in bagging in a vacuum directly underwater and use it the hole for copying the form, have the perfect mold for making the perfect cradle. And that is for making the copy of the form of the hole. But after I have to also find the system to build the real frame for support that
mold.
That mold, that quarter pipe mold. And it's more complicated because when the boat is underwater, I can't really laminate, or I can pre-laminate the frame, put underwater, glue on the frame. Is quite...
but you could do that out of the water.
Yeah, but when we sit the boat, we can't pay two extra move.
Can't you just do it before we get haul out even?
No, because you don't know exactly the position for the bow. One is more easy because you can understand how can make him perfectly flat in leva. You can understand how can setting in leva the cradle of the bow, but the two cradle of the back, because it's only two half quarter pipe, you have to know in what kind of angle you have to sit. I can also there do the calculation, but if after is wrong when I sit, but we can find a solution. But at the moment, I realize more, I think that also is not so important. We want to haul out the boat and do the swapping of engine.
And sail drive.
The
other big challenge for us is going to be getting it into the boat.
The engine is so heavy that I don't want to use it on my system. I always use it with the 2 wood timber, the cross beam. I use it on the roof of the fiberglass in the roof of the boat because I worry to compress or crack the roof. For who follow the channel of sailing boat, you see every time we pull in and out one engine, sometimes you have to disassemble the marine ice parts or other components for making more skinny. But the point I want to make is I already think I can disconnect all dodger and twist a little bit in one side.
Really?
Yeah.
Not take it all off?
No, because I don't want to disconnect the solar panel. I disconnect all bolt and I turn it in one side.
Okay.
And the crane can lift put me the hook of the crane on the top to the entry.
Okay, so we have to investigate in Kudat also if they've got this kind of crane set up that we can use.
We can use it also the pulley of the travel lift. The problem is we can do everything, but sometimes it's difficult to explain to the staff of the yard and have the trust from them. In Fiji I use the pulley of my travel lift for remove, putting back. Is very easy because with only one pulley of the straps of the belt of the travel lift you can lift the engine, and after with one rope and one winch pull in the correct.
Would we use our boom?
No, absolutely not, because we don't have the topping lift.
We could make one.
ma is something dodgy,
Okay.
attached.
Brilliant.
Is still one racing boat.
Okay. And finally, we want to say great big thank you again to all our Patreons and coffee supporters.
Thank you to our Patreon and coffee supporter.
So the first people we want to thank are Dan and Linda. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Dan and Linda.
To Phil, that we've known actually for a long time now.
From
since the
COVID
beginning.
time,
Yeah.
when we bought the boat, be very
New Zealand,
supporter of us, our choice. He passed 2 afternoons to scrap the whole of MV with his scuba dive gear.
In the freezing cold New Zealand winter.
He be anchored close to us in New Zealand with his Patreon X.
Patriot X.
Is one?
Nordhaven.
Not even is one
Expedition.
boat. Is one
Very cool boat.
very cool boat. We
Yeah.
have a very nice time with you, Phil. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks Phil. It was really nice to hear from you again.
After Mark,
Mark Southey, who grew up racing dinghies and then moved on to keelboats later. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
And Steph Smith, who we've not heard more from, but thank you so much,
Thank
Steph.
you, Steph.
We really appreciate.
Again, thank you to all Patreon that you follow and support us. And yeah.
And we've had a few more coffees from people. Thank you very much to Tim, Adrian, Mark, Paulino, Joe, Dan and Linda. This also thank you, and Marek. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
If anyone else is interested in joining our Patreon community or wants to buy us a coffee, I'll put the links in the description. Thank you very much,
Thank
guys.
you very much.
Yeah. If you'd like to support us on Patreon with a one-off donation on our coffee website or via PayPal, I'll put the links in the description. Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, we'd really appreciate it if you could click the subscribe button, like, comment, share it with your friends, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future episodes.